Piece of piss. Hello guys, my name is Comedian. That's it. That's my life now, and today I'm doing a reaction, shockingly. The world is shocked, I'm shocked, my chair is shocked. Doing a reaction to J-Hope, Mr. J-Hope P.O.P, J-Buns. Today it's going to be Piece of Peace. I'm doing the Hope World mixtape, and the first single or song off that was annoyingly happy, outrageously happy as a Grinch. For a Grinch like myself, it was kind of tough to listen to. It's like a feeling I got like when I left college, and like the one or two times I went back onto a college campus, and I suddenly found myself being like, how dare everyone here be so happy and optimistic? But I'm hoping that over the series of this EP, maybe he'll rub off on me a little bit, and not in that way, that's just too hopeful. But yeah, fingers crossed. Make sure you guys are subscribed, make sure you check out my Patreon for some fun Run BTS and Bon Voyage reactions, and make sure you sit down, strap in your seatbelt, obey the road laws, and let's watch this reaction. No, but really, if you're actually driving right now, then obey the road laws by not watching this reaction. But if you are driving, or if you're in the passenger seat, let's go. Okay, it's like an early kind of 2000s kind of beat. It's a famous scream.
Take one. Take two.
What was take one? How did I miss that? That is impressive. I missed that. Knowing yourself was take one. Okay.
Take two.
Okay.
Take three.
What's an NG? The only NG I know about is like NG Plus, which was a really old like Flash game about a ninja or something. I don't know. I'm almost certain he's not talking about that, and if he is, then the world's a strange place, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone else. Yeah, I like this a lot. This really is a good roadmap for success. You know, you got to know yourself. You can't be yourself until you know yourself, and you can't be the best version of yourself until you know what it is. And sometimes, you know, you might go on a journey of self-discovery and realize, oh, that's who I am. Oh dear. But you know, that's a risk you take.
No pain, no gain, 우리에겐 no waste. 고해와 봉쇄 그렇게 fade away. 용기를 행복의 기준은 너고 그 길을 걸어.
I like this more than the first one so far, and everything he's saying in this is very, very reasonable, very accurate, you know. The standard for happiness is you. It's just when you're somebody like me who hasn't really felt properly happy in like 10 years, that becomes less motivational and more of like a damning indictment on yourself. It's like, oh, I'm responsible for my own happiness. I have been letting myself down for a decade now. Naughty me, silly me. No, but I very much, you know, I very much agree with what you're saying and all that stuff. You know, arguably I've only been working on my own happiness for the past like 3 or 4 years, so ignore the other 6. That was all just a mess, a big mess. It is something, happiness is something that a lot of us have to work on. Some people basically get to be happy by default, which is, you know, great, good for you, great for them. But some of us have to work really, really hard for it. Oh my goodness, it's building up. There's a build up. I don't believe it. I'm shocked. I'm shooked. I'm shooking. I really respect the message here, you know? Like, it's one thing to be quite a happy person, and to be clear, I think a lot of people have said in the comments that, you know, J-Hope wouldn't say himself he's like naturally happy. Happiness is something he's had to work on too, but he's now in a great place. I guess being, you know, part of a chart-topping band probably does up the serotonin a little bit, and he wants to share that with people, which is good. That's commendable. That's great. See, like, because I, you know, in a way, I'm in the same boat. Like, I definitely want to try and improve people's days, make people smile, laugh, or whatever. I just don't know if I do that by sharing my happiness. Like, in my happiness, I'm almost protective of it. I'm like, no, get off mine. There's not enough to go around. There's a crumb. You can't have a part of my crumb. I can try and make you happy in other ways. I can try and make you happy by telling you how to use your own happiness. Oh no, but maybe that's what J-Hope's doing. Well, I just blew my own mind. But you know, J-Hope's got the buttery voice, the optimism, the positivity. I'm working on all that stuff. It sounds a bit like he's saying that classic old English phrase, the lovely family-friendly English phrase, piece of piss. as in, oh, that's easy. Oh, jump over that mountain? Piece of piss. That was role-playing from when I was a superhero one time. Making good reactions? Piece of piss, I said 2 years ago with a camera. The rest is history. Ups and downs. But yeah, I think I'm not gonna be able to unhear that now in the chorus, but I like that interpretation of it, you know? He's saying, I think a part of happiness really is just the positivity. And I don't know how to quite describe that. It's like that thing of like 50% of being a good athlete or a good sportsman or whatever is, you know, like having the stamina, the training, and the other 50% is all in the mind. Maybe even more than 50%. Like there's so much, you know, mentality that goes into it. And I think the same is true for like mental health stuff. Obviously, you need a good ground to work on, but a lot of it, like, I remember like, you know, the last period where I was truly happy, happiness felt like so easy back then, so guaranteed, and it meant that when I went into situations that were stressful, that might have otherwise made me really sad otherwise, you know, I told myself, well, I'm already happy, you know, I have the mental strength already in me to kind of like to get myself back to that mindset to you know, and also especially in our anxious circumstances to like not give into the anxiety or whatever. So in a way, happiness sometimes is more about working on yourself and working on your happiness until you've had enough of it where you're like, okay, this is a sure thing right now. So even if something bad happens, my brain will be like, no, happiness is staying still. Look, I generally like dial 16, whatever this channel is. What is it? Yeah, dial 6137. That's the nature of my ADHD brain. If there's 4 numbers in a row, I will automatically if my memory will they'll be back to front. They'll be in the wrong order somehow. 6137 or 1367, whatever. They tend to have very good translations. I just wish they wouldn't be afraid to put 2 lines at once, because like I am a very fast reader. Like people compliment me on fast reading, I guess because there's not much else they can compliment me on. But you know, I'll take it. I'm a very fast reader, and this is too much sometimes. Look at this. Just put 2 rows at once, man. It's fine. It seems like he's getting political about the job culture now, which I'm excited about. Work to devise what's real and fake. I mean, again, that was a lot of words at once, but it seems like he's now saying, if any of you are frustrated with your day-to-day life, you know, you have to work hard, it feels like you work really hard, you take 1 step forward and 2 steps back or something. It's almost like he's saying, I've escaped that rat race, I want to be your beacon of positivity, which I think is really nice. I don't know if I'm interpreting that right. That's my take on it, and I think if that's what he's saying, I think that's really, really nice. It's very sweet, hence the background image, I guess. Piece of piss. It's easy for you to say, J-Hope. You're very talented. I feel like religion would be a lot easier if somebody like J-Hope was like the figurehead of it. Not saying you should make your musicians into religious idols. That's always a recipe for disaster. Always. But just, you know, like religion would be more trendy if the god figure was just a nice, like, Candyman. A nice person handing out positivity, smiles, good times, good feelings. That's all we need. That's all anyone needs. Once you have that, the rest falls into place, as far as I'm concerned.
Be right there.
I also really like the specific word he's chosen here is peace, because like peace is so you know, and this might be where the experience comes from, you know, like the people said in my comments that he does come from a place of experience, like he hasn't always been like, you know, the happiest person. It's something he's worked on or whatever. I really think that notion of peace, inner peace, is something so few of us properly get to discover, or maybe we have it like when we're younger, and then as we get older it becomes so hard to find your way back to then, you know. It can be such a rare emotion. Like the older we get, the more worries we have, especially in this capitalist world where we're just like constantly working, and so many of us are constantly working just to put food on our plates so we can put fuel in ourselves to keep working. It can become like this completely all-consuming thing, and the chance for inner peace like basically hardly ever emerges. It hardly ever materializes, and inner peace is like the most important thing. And you know, there are people that through one circumstance or another, they can feel that way like almost all their life. And I feel like it really is the way to live. I feel like back in the day, cavemen, once they'd finished, running around chasing lions about with a spoon or whatever they did back then, those wacky people, once they sat in their cave at the end of the day, they probably felt a great deal of peace, And this isn't like some kind of like railing against modern, like, oh, we'd all be so much happier if we went back to caveman times. Obviously, that's got a whole set of issues with it, but, there's probably a fine line. It's like, with the advent of social media, it's so hard to be peaceful. With the advent of phone in our pockets, digging at us constantly. Sometimes I check my subscriber count right before I go to bed. It's the last thing I do before I go to bed. I don't know why I do that. It's usually moved up by like 4 if I'm lucky. And it means that, that's obvious. That's not healthy. That's not good for your sleep. Peace just seems like harder and harder to come by in the modern world, is my point. So I think it's very commendable and nice that is the one thing he's focusing on in this song. It's the thing he wants to spread. I like it. Yeah, I think I made my case with the whole peace thing. So yeah, the message of that song, I think, is fantastic. Musically, it doesn't do much for me, and that isn't an insult towards the song at all. I'm the sort of person, like, up until, like, literally, like, 4 or 5 years ago when I got my ADHD diagnosis and started actually working on my ADHD, I didn't think you were supposed to follow lyrics or listen to lyrics. Like, for me, until, not that recently ago in my life, like, music was all about the beat, because the lyrics often went over my head. It's like how movies for me are often about the visuals or like the emotions they inspired, because the actual plot line went over my head because I just couldn't make myself focus. Now I'm better at doing that. It's a more conscious thing I have to do. That's probably why I like EDM so much, because most EDM isn't about the lyrics. You don't have to feel like you're missing out on anything. And if there is an EDM song with lyrics, it's often really quite cringeworthy stuff like dancing in a rainbow. So yeah, but I like I've now got the diagnosis, I've worked on myself, and now I can follow lyrics, now I can follow that stuff. I'm happy with that. But it also means I have that very huge reliance on the beat of a song. Like, that for me is the foundation of my enjoyment of it. And this beat just didn't do that much for me. And that's fine. That's why I like BTS, because usually, with some artists, there's the risk I'll have the beat that does nothing for me and the lyrics do nothing for me. Whereas at BTS, you usually get one or the other, or often both. That's why I really like reacting to BTS, honestly, because I always feel that there's something there for me. So yeah, I'm not going to lie and be like, oh, that was my favourite thing ever, wow, as far as the beat goes. But I think the message, like that whole rant about peace and stuff, I think the message is fantastic and spot on. I think J-Hope has tapped into what many of us are missing in this modern world, and he wants to help us get it, which is very nice. Thank you, J-Hope. That's very considerate of you. Thank you, young man. Anyway, that was a whole load of word vomit, but I hope some of it was enjoyable. Thank you so much for watching these videos and for suggesting that I reacted to Hope World, everyone. Hope you guys have been enjoying this. I am going to react to the whole EP, so stay tuned. Definitely stay subscribed. I'm assuming you're already subscribed. If you aren't, then how dare you click that button right now. And if you haven't checked out my Patreon right now, well, not how dare you, because, depends what your circumstances are. But if that sounds cool to you, the link is in the description. You know where to find me. Anyway, I've said my piece. There's not more I could do here. It's time for me to let go of this video, let go of the feeling that I haven't given you guys quite enough yet. Screw you, insecurity. I done well today. I done well. Anyway, hope you guys are having a lovely day. I'll see you soon. And remember, if you like this reaction to Piece of Peace, then click the subscribe button. It's a piece of piss. That's just too easy.